So now we're going to be focusing on relief printing. Relief printing is the process of carving patterns, shapes, and designs into a block. But in this activity, because we don't have the block or the tools to be able to do that, we're going to do an alternative option using fabrics and other tools. As for materials, we're still going to be using the same materials, but we're going to add ink as well as the fabrics and other additional tools.
But because we don't necessarily have the block or the tools, and it's just, that's a lesson in itself, we're going to just do some alternatives. But I'm going to show you an example of a form of a relief print block, which is a stamp. I mean, everyone's seen a stamp. So let me show you. So I have like this rubber stamp. It's an ampersand. The alternative that I was talking about is using texture, different types of texture. So I'm going to use this burlap fabric that I have alongside with this little ring and creating shapes, relief shapes, and then kind of seeing where it goes. Like, we don't know what it's going to look like. That's the whole point of exploring, so I'm excited about that. And instead of using acrylic paint this time, I'm going to use just black ink, which will be looser and will give it a completely different feel. And I want to incorporate some color, so I'm going to use this I don't know what this is called, this coral color acrylic paint. Okay, so those are the two things that we're going to do differently this time. All right, let's begin.
We're going to go ahead and place the ink down and then take the piece of fabric and place it in the ink so that it absorbs, and then we'll use that as a way to create the pattern and texture on the paper.
Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool, right? So you know what? We're going to do another, but this time let's cut it because that's not that big, so we don't need a whole sheet. So let's do this again. All right. I'm a messy artist. Like, I get paint all over my hands, so, and I'm okay with that. All right, let's see what comes from this. Ooh, how awesome is that? I love this. This is so cool. This is really nice. Okay, so that's essentially what what relief printing is. So because, like I said, we don't have the tools to create a traditional block and like etch it out, just find some textures at home that you think that you could play with and do an alternative version. Let's do some more because I really like this. Can you see it? There you go, that's a little bit better. All right, so then let's use the little bottle cap I had. Just take up the extra. No need to waste. Right, and just kind of This is beautiful. I mean, I didn't plan for this at all. I didn't know like this is how it was gonna come out. And I think that's like the best part. Like, so when you're exploring and you're playing with textures, don't be afraid to try different things. You see, like you can see we've got many different examples. This was like a mistake. This was like a print. And this is a good example of how like relief printing works in comparison to mono printing. So when you do a mono print, you only just get that one print, right? But when you do a relief print, because this was the relief part, then every time you copied it, it would always be the exact, right? So we did one copy of this one, we did another copy of this one. And when I say exact, meaning like position and maybe like the texture marks, obviously the value may range. So meaning like, for example, this had way too much ink, so therefore it was just too, like it just smeared and it created its own other image in itself. But if you're calculating it properly, using the same amount of ink all the time, then you can reproduce your pieces. Obviously they'll always be an original, right? Because no two marks are the same, but you can get them close enough, right? So that's the best part. But then played with two textures, a cap and a little bit of fabric, right? And it just gave us so much. And then my imagination. Don't be afraid to explore. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because there's no such thing as mistakes in creating your own art, because it's your own expression. And have fun, right? That's the whole point of making art, is to have fun and enjoy it. All right. I hope you learned a lot between mono printing and relief printing. I hope it inspires you to create more pieces. And in the next video, I'm going to take all of these prints that we've done, and then we're going to just do a collage. We're going to cut them up and we're going to create one big art piece from all of our marks. So that's another, it's just another way to combine your work and make it even more exciting and interesting and engaging. Okay, I can't wait to see your art. So please send it to me. The info, all of the information is in the description box. Email them to me. You can email me your artwork, or you can use a hashtag so that I can find your work that way as well. All right, have a good one. Bye.